Kia ora and hello from Aotearoa, New Zealand. This is Glenna from the Key of Truth Academy, and today I'm going to talk about spiritual gifts and what's happening around the planet in terms of people's energy and why a lot of spiritual gifts are opening up. And so at the moment the energies are rising and are intensifying because all of humanity has been called into evolution, to evolve, to heal, to grow, to learn, and part of that includes the shifting of energies, which is shifting the DNA to start opening up and activating. And this is happening all over the planet, and at the same time many people don't actually know what's happening and why. A lot of people have been going through a lot of challenges, going through dark nights of the soul, a lot of times of chaos, grief, challenges, really hard, tough times over the last few years. And the reason for that is to get everyone ready to make a shift, to ascend, to transform into a newer, higher form of yourself, and part of that includes the opening up of spiritual gifts. And so spiritual gifts are given to you at birth in your DNA, in your mind, body, spirit. And so it is already in there. It's not something that you have to get or do something to get. It's already been implanted in your mind, body, spirit by design and at birth. And everyone's design and DNA is completely different, and so your spiritual gifts will be completely different. And so there's about 7 to 8 billion people on the planet, so there's about 7 to 8 billion configurations of spiritual gifts that are possible, which is a lot. And so we're not going to cover that in just one YouTube video. So instead I'm just going to talk about the process of how it's opening and why, and then what to do about it. Because if you don't know, then it's quite hard to understand what's going on. And so over the last few years, as everyone's been going through their tough times, this has been creating shifts in everyone's mind, body, spirit, and everyone's energy, and everyone's DNA. And so this is causing people to have new experiences, have new things happen to them that they didn't have before. And so these can be as mild as needing a new diet, or your body's just a little bit more sore, you need more sleep. A lot of those symptoms are happening. Or your mind may be focused on different things than they used to be. For example, you might have been interested in cars and now you're more interested in gardening. Part of that is a change of age. But it's also a reflection of you coming closer to the true you, the higher you, rather than the environment that you grew up in and what they did and what they feel is normal or acceptable in their family lineage. A lot of people are starting to feel like they want to do different things than what their family taught them and want to branch out into different areas. And maybe some families may not understand that, and that is difficult. And so alongside those types of milder changes comes a call for purpose and for meaning, and for wanting to know more about yourself and what you're here to do. And that's part of the spiritual calling to evolution that the humanity is going through. And so all of these changes are going on all at once, and when you have no understanding of that or no context of that, it's really hard to navigate a way through a process that you didn't know what was happening, you don't know what phase you're at, and you don't know where you're supposed to be going. So all of this has been happening, and many people are confused and not understanding what's going on and why, and so just sort of going through the motions until such time as they find some information. So alongside all these changes that have been going on, spiritual gifts are starting to open up. And so as the energy rises, and like the diamonds that are made out of coal from intense pressure and friction and heat, that's what's been happening in our lives and in our mind, body, spirits, to cause our DNA structures to start opening up and to start changing into more crystalline and higher frequency cells in our body, and DNA changes and all sorts of things going on. But the opening of spiritual gifts is one part of all of that process. And so spiritual gifts are, there's such a wide range, you can't really name them all. But we have our 6 senses, which is sight, smell, taste, touch, and our 6th sense, which is an spiritual overlay on top of all of our human senses, which open up the human senses, the physical senses, into spiritual realities as well. And so we have the gift of sight. We can see with our physical eyes what's going on around us. Our sixth sense, our spiritual sense, opens up those physical eyes and helps you to see into other realms. And with our hearing, we can hear what people are saying to us, while other people are starting to hear conversations that are not with people, that may be with spirits, or maybe with people that are not in the room with them. And so it's the same with the sense of smell and taste and touch. A lot of people are saying they feel like they can smell something that's not there, or they can taste something that's nowhere near them, or that they can feel sensations that's not happening to them in the physical realm. And so that's where our sixth sense is opening up those senses. And so on top of those senses opening up, we also have a wide range of spiritual gifts opening up. And we have spiritual gifts that are well known, such as healing, like Reiki or quantum touch, or there's a wide range of healing therapies. There's the healing therapies that are physical, like massage and deep tissue manipulation and chiropractic. And then there's the spiritual healing, like hands-on healing, those types of things, or distance healing as well on a spiritual level. The physical therapies as well, such as herbal medicine and all the physical range of alternative medicines as well. So those are the types of gifts that are well known. So you might have a gift for cooking, or you may have a gift for listening to people, or you may have a gift for organizing and helping people to get things organized, or you may be a great mother. So there's all those types of gifts that we're aware of. There's also other gifts being opened up around the planet that people are not aware of, or you've only seen in the sci-fi movies, such as telepathy, teleportation, time travel, and there's a wide range of all forms of those. And also, we don't just have one spiritual gift. It's not only possible, it's extremely common and most probable that most will have more than one spiritual gift. We have six senses in the physical realm, so we have the capability of having six senses in the spiritual realms as well. What spiritual gifts will be yours will depend on your mind, body, spirit, your DNA, the changes that you've been through, and what your life purpose is and what you came here to do. And that's why it's so important to find out what your life purpose is and what you came here to do. Because once you find that out and you come to an acceptance of a life purpose that you feel is right for you, you can actually look back on your life and see how many of the experiences that you've been through, or the work that you've done, or the things that you've done with people or for people and been involved with, have actually been in alignment with your life purpose and with your spiritual gifts. And it's interesting once you come to this realization that yes, everything you've been through has been for a reason, and yes, there was a purpose, and it all adds up to your spiritual evolution, your spiritual growth, your healing journey. And so connecting all these dots together of where you've been, what's your life purpose, where you are and where you're going, can take time. And so learning your spiritual gifts is really about asking and listening to your spiritual guidance. Because if you don't have anyone around you who believes that you can hear voices or that you can see things that aren't there, then those aren't the people to talk to. Okay, so if you're having these new spiritual experiences, be careful who you tell. And especially the spiritual gifts that are really unknown and really out there, be really careful who you tell. Because I don't want anyone to get into trouble or to end up in situations where they are incapacitated for any reason. And so it might be best to keep it to yourself until you're sure that you found someone who is able to understand what you're talking about and is capable of giving you some input into that. So when you do feel like you're hearing or seeing or smelling or feeling things that are outside the normal realm of experience, you can start by looking up on Google to see if anyone else has written something on it. And for example, telepathy or telekinesis, People have written things on those, so you can read up and see what people have been through, what they've done. Some people may have talked about it on their experiences or on the social media outlets. A lot of spiritual people are now on all of the social media, so just look up and see what other people have been through and what information you can get from that. Now, if you've got an experience that you can't find, maybe try breaking down your experiences into certain categories. For example, if you're hearing voices, plus you're seeing this, but this aspect isn't anywhere, then just look up those separate aspects of what you're going through and see if you can piece together some kind of connection that matches what you're going through. So the best thing to do is find out as much information as you can. Ideally, if you can find someone who's done exactly what you've done, you can follow them, ask questions, and you'll be right. And so the other thing you can do if no one's been through your experience is either watch movies. I know that might sound weird, but something that someone says or does in a movie might jog a memory or a piece of information for you. And so these are ways to start piecing together what your spiritual gifts might be. And then once you do that, you need to figure out how to manage and use your gift with a sense of responsibility and for the highest good of all, because especially for the spiritual gifts that are really powerful, intense, and quite overwhelming, it can be difficult to understand how to really manage that in a physical world, and especially if you have no one near you that you can share experiences with, which I really feel for you if that's you, because it is even harder if you've got no one to talk to about it. So try all of those avenues of looking for information, and for the majority of gifts, you will find someone else who's been through what you've been through. Just keep searching, try different keywords, try different searches to find someone or some book or some movie that's got something to do with what you've been through. And if you really can't find any information, then you can contact me on my website, and we can do a one-on-one consultation process, a coaching process to help you get more specific information for you. But the last thing that I want to say, though, is no matter what spiritual gift that you have or what experiences you're going through, every single one of those experiences is valid. There's a reason why you in particular have it. And if you have that gift, then you have the capability to figure it out. You just need a process. And I'm going to be talking more about that on my TikTok channel, where I focus more on the how-to on that channel. And on here, I'm going to do longer form, sort of background information, theory, ways of looking at the spiritual phenomenon. So these are some things that you can do. And I just want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy. All you need to do is figure out what your gift is, how to use it, and manage it as best as you can, and learn the purpose of it, because once you learn the purpose of your gift, then you can learn how to use it to help people for the good, for the greater good, and according to the highest good of all. And everyone has a different life purpose, and so your purpose for your gift will be different from someone else who may have a similar gift as you. And that's why it's up to you to find out what's right for you and to find the information that's right for you, and tune into your spiritual guidance to understand more for your specific situation. And that's what I talk about on all my channels, is around helping you find your own truth instead of mine or anyone else's, because that's the only way that you're going to find out what it is that you need to do for you and your spiritual gifts. So I hope that helps. And if you are in a situation where your spiritual gifts are opening up and no one around you knows, I really feel for you. And so I am here on all the social media channels if you need to ask questions, or if you'd like a one-on-one coaching session. And I wish you all the best. Mauri ora and soul blessings to you.